I unlocked the battle axe and grinded out gold camo. Check out some of these clips. The battle axe sure is a great weapon. I thoroughly enjoyed myself using this. It kills a lot of people, and it's very consistent. Very, very consistent weapon. Yeah. Yep. Alright, memes aside, I'm reviewing the battle axe in this video. I'm going over its stats and unique traits that make this new melee weapon extremely frustrating to use. I mean, we even have some never before seen differences is the right word to use when it comes to range and some new melee mechanics introduced into Cold War. So typically, melee weapons will differ in 4 key stats that make each and every one of them feel unique. The first stat is movement speed. The battle axe is standard all around when it comes to movement, meaning it behaves like every other melee weapon minus the E-tool and the Psi. The second stat is swing speed. The battle axe will swing at 65 melees per minute, which is relatively decent. It's only a bit behind the combat knife. However, the third stat is time to kill, or what I like to refer to as click to kill for most weapons. This is the time it takes between clicking the melee button and registering a hit marker, and in most cases a kill on an enemy. Even though the battle axe swings faster than the sledgehammer, the battle axe has the same time to kill as the sledgehammer at 467 milliseconds, which is the slowest between all the melee weapons. It's one of the many reasons I think this weapon is god-awful, and I'll expand on that after we run through the remaining stats. That time is for lunge kills. The battle axe actually has a reach range like the E-tool and the Wakizashi, where you can get a kill without lunging. And for lungeless kills, there was some variance here, but I'm just going to say it averages out around 350 milliseconds for simplicity, which is on par with the combat knife. Our fourth stat is range, and this is where things get really interesting. Unfortunately, as of Season 6, private matches don't show up in theater mode for some reason, so I'm unable to capture the exact ranges with the free roam camera as I have with every other melee weapon to date. However, I've done this enough to the point where I can recognize the range in my testing area from first person and third person perspectives. Now get this, the battle axe has 3 different ranges. Its lunge range you're seeing on screen right now in blue. The max range is roughly 3 steps further than the standard combat knife range, which I'll throw on screen right now for comparison. The minimum distance here is about 1 step less than the combat knife, which is about the E-tool and the ballistics knives range. Now, if you watched a lot of my melee videos, you may be thinking, well, hey, that's odd. Why is there a range for the lunge? And that's because the reach range is actually shorter than the lunge range. The lungeless range is minus 3.5 steps, which is the new shortest melee range in the game. And this is odd because up until now, if a melee weapons had a lungeless kill range, it was further than the actual lunge range. This is why I've been referring to lungeless kills as extended reach on the Wakizashi, the E-tool, and the ballistic knife. The battle axe is the exact opposite of that, and honestly, it makes no sense, and is part of the reason why this weapon feels so wonky. So I'm gonna guess now you're looking at the screen and wondering, why is there a gap in the middle? This, my friends, is what I'm labeling the dead zone. If you melee in this range, nothing happens. I'm not even joking. The range is broken apart into 2 different pieces. You can melee all you want within this range, and you will not get a reach kill, and a lunge animation won't trigger. Now, the closer to the enemy you are in this range, there is a chance you can get a kill after a few swings, but the further away you are in the dead zone, it's more unlikely you'll get a kill. I literally swung for like a minute towards the end of the dead zone, and nothing happened. I have strong opinions on this, but before I go down that rabbit hole, there's one more unique mechanic you should be aware of. The battle axe can kill more than one person with one swing. Now, it's really rare that this will happen in multiplayer. The enemies have to be right on top of each other for this to happen. I tried to do this in a private match with bots and I just couldn't get it to happen. But I have been told that some people have gotten 2-for-1 kills in multiplayer. This mechanic is more useful in zombies. You'll be able to get the 2-for-1 more often. but I don't see the appeal for this with all the other downsides this weapon has. I mean, you're better off using the E tool. It swings about twice as fast as the battle axe, so at the end of the day, you're going to be killing the same amount of zombies with it. So if you couldn't tell by now, I despise the battle axe. It makes the sledgehammer look like a good melee weapon somehow. I highly recommend you do not invest time into this weapon in its current state. You saw the clips. The battle axe is slow, it's inconsistent, it feels clunky, it has screwball range values. I forgot to mention that this has a reach range with a slow time to kill, which is why you get a ton more whiffs with the battle axe compared to something like the E-tool and the Wakizashi. The enemy will have about twice the amount of time to move outside of the battle axe's range, which is why ghost hits are on a whole nother level with this weapon. I also need to point out that the swing speed and the time to kill are completely mismatched. It swings fast but kills slow, which is probably why I feel like there's a swing delay after you connect with an enemy using the battle axe. I don't know, the weapon feels bad. I have a hard time believing they designed the weapon this way purposely. It's broken and not in a good way. The battle axe is certified trash. If for some reason though you're still interested in unlocking the battle axe, here are the unlock challenges. The multiplayer one is very specific and tedious and just inconvenient to do. I unlocked this in zombies. It took me about like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to run into 10 different abominations. Or of course you could purchase the Berserker bundle in the store, but again I highly recommend looking elsewhere if you're looking for a melee weapon. I've covered all of the melee weapons in Cold War in depth like this on my channel. I've even ranked some of them from worst to best. I'll have my melee playlist linked down below in the descriptions and probably in the comments if you want to check that out. That brings us to the final question. What do you think about the battle axe? If you've used the axe, do you agree with me or do you love this weapon and think it's the best weapon in the game? Or if you haven't unlocked the battle axe yet, will you be unlocking it after watching this video? Let me know down below in the comments. I'm punching in here to give some additional insight because I do not want to cut this actually somewhat good gameplay with the battle axe short. I need to show this thing off in all of its glory. You guys have no idea how hard of a weapon this thing is to use. I just need to reiterate that, and also I'm almost at the 8-minute mark for this video and I don't want to cut this video short under that because yeah, this was a pain and a struggle. But yeah, that should do it. Hopefully you got a kick out of this video and got a kick out of that introduction skit. If you haven't tapped that like button already, please do so. It'd be greatly appreciated. Consider subscribing to the channel. I upload all sorts of Call of Duty content on here. If you're really into COD and you're not subscribed, you're doing yourself a disservice. And yeah, if you'd like to help support the channel directly, there are some links down below towards the bottom of the description that you could help out to help support the channel directly. That'll be it. Catch you on the next one. Peace.